You know, there have been plenty of times that we've missed like a week of streaming for whether it's hunting or just going away, but I have never had so many stories that I want to tell on stream kind of accumulate over a week like that, so this should be a fun one, and I just picked a map that I felt like we were likely to be able to run around and just have stuff happen. So, you know, hopefully that lends itself well to story time, but how you guys doing? How's everybody been getting along in the last, what, has it really been like a week and a half? The last stream was a Friday, right? Story time, it should be good. You know at least 2 of them. Some wild stuff occurred, both in Tennessee and back here in PA, in the last, primarily like 4 days. Got my Great One Black Bear like 2 minutes ago. Nice, man, congrats. I was considering doing some black bear grinding again today, but speaking of stories and stuff to talk about, now with the new map being announced, didn't they say there's black bear on that? I kind of, like, do I just wait? I might. We're probably not terribly far off from that release, so that's another thing that I'm sure we'll get into a good bit today, is all of the info that came along with that. And I'll be honest, probably I don't know all of it. I literally, like, we were, what was the deal that day? I was in between hunts. I was getting ready to head back out, basically, when that stream was happening. So the info I got is, like, through text from Kyla and random Discord bits that I've picked up. So that should be interesting. Beans, what's going on, mistress? Love your channel, been watching for 2 years now. Well, I appreciate it, man. Is the Greater Kudu canceled? Okay, so from what I heard, that was not something, it wasn't even canceled, like it just wasn't supposed to be something that was ever going to be there. I did this last time. How do I do this? I turn off the HUD so I can take a screenshot of a gun to then use it for a thumbnail, and then I forget to put it back. First time watching live, I'm glad you can make it in, man. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Once we kind of get going here, I'll be probably lost in storytelling from the recent trip and recent hunting excursions back here at home. Any luck in Tennessee? I genuinely did not see a deer. Now, we didn't choose an area of Tennessee that's like, you know, loaded with deer. We were purposefully trying to hunt like Tennessee mountain deer, like hard to find kind of stuff. And before I let this get too far away, Matt, thank you for the super chat. Want to play the Hunter Classic tonight with me? I actually have to get groceries, speaking of the Tennessee trip, because we're about out of all the things here, so I don't think I'm going to be around tonight. I was going to say the Wednesday streams. So we're on, as far as like Twitch streams go, what I call the hunting season schedule, which means I won't be streaming Classic on Wednesday nights till a little bit after Christmas. But when that comes back, I host multiplayer and Classic basically every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, to go back to that, Aaron actually saw a buck. He literally like sat down on this tract of public land that's like 80,000 acres, and within like 10 minutes had like a lower end shooter buck come through. He ended up not taking the shot. It was kind of like not the best shot. It passed through pretty quick. And then the next morning he actually shot one, and he hit it a little bit too high. It ended up getting away. So we were in the right area, but I saw a lot of bears. Between the two of us, I think there were 15 bear encounters. Not 15 separate bears, because we no doubt saw the same bear multiple times. But it was absurd. I got some pretty cool bear footage. There was a sow and 3 cubs at like 30 yards at one point. The sow got to the point of almost getting yelled at. It walked to within about 12, 14 yards. If it would have taken like 2 more steps, I was going to be like, oi! Don't get any closer. But it saw me kind of messing with the camera and just turned around and left. What's up, Wild Elk? Grady's in here, Josh was in here, Miro's in here. Do you know when the update's coming? We do not. We can kind of make a guess based off past releases. God, these things look good now. They look really good. Anyway, potentially late November, most likely early December. Just, again, that's not any official information. That is purely speculation based on what we've seen in previous years. Matt, thank you for the super chat again. Next week on Wednesday, well, I won't have the Twitch streams happening for quite some time. Next Wednesday is, what, the night before Thanksgiving? Is that correct? I think so. If I'm remembering what's going on correctly, I do need to prep. I'm going to try to prep like the entire first week of rifle season anyway, when Kyla's away. So we'll see. What is the best way to get rare skins on Yukon in your opinion? I mean, if you're not looking for a particular species, what I would do is just like start at 5 a.m., hunt whatever's drinking then, and to be quite honest, I don't know if I can say what it is. What did you do? Oh, good job. Did you record it?
Yeah.
I won't say what it is unless you want to.
And it's not.
I see that. It's a prehistoric hunt thing, though. Anyway. Michigan rifle season starts tomorrow. Nice. I'm kind of looking forward to rifle, but there's only a couple days left of archer here. I came so close last night to smoking the bladed 9. I saw him actually first thing in the morning, and funny enough, he walked into the same stand that he did in 2020. And, like, I didn't go there. It's such a bizarre thing. I was walking down the hill to my stands, and they're only 50 yards apart. And I had this weird feeling like, go sit in the old stand today. And I was like, nah. And then like I had that feeling again, and I was like, I'm just trying to talk myself into sitting in this stand. It's not comfortable. I'm going to sit all day. It's just, no. What he knows, 7:30 in the morning, he walks right under that stand. And I don't know that I could have shot him. He walked directly to it anyway. But that was rough. And then like 4:30, he comes back. I get the grunt call because he's like 100 yards away. And I just go to town, like, making as much noise as I can, basically. He doesn't even turn. And I was like, okay. I mean, he's 7.5 years old. I'm not calling in a buck like that. And I'm, like, talking to the camera, because, of course, I film all my hunts. And I heard a grunt. And he came up and around. He was walking right where I wanted him to. But he crossed the hillside at, like, 45. I snort wheeze, got him down to, like, 27, 28, but he was facing me. And too far left, because this was a double set that I had for Kyle and I. So the other stand was in the way regardless. And since he couldn't see the buck that I was, you know, pretending to be, he turned and walked away. Came within a couple yards. If he just turns to the right and goes over to the fawn that he was kind of pushing around a little bit, I get almost a chip shot. Playing with your emotions, dude. It's insane what that buck has, you know. I've lost sleep over, like, trying to plan where to find him, and it's always in the same spot. It always is. Got a couple days left. The next couple days are going to be busy. I'm not going to get to hunt over there. And then the other thing is, the buck at this property, like the main target buck, is now a half rack. He kept his good side, but that's something. That probably means there's a bigger one around, though. Actually, there's 2 half racks, which really makes me think there might be a bigger one. This whole story is a perfect example of Murphy's Law. Dude, going all the way back to, like, 2019. Because my brother had him on trail camera. Making a scrape or something. Hello. I think that's what he was doing. Making a scrape or working already existing scrape. I can't remember. And, you know, at that point, both of us were pretty new to bow hunting, didn't have a clue what we were doing. So he just went and set a blind like 25 yards from that scrape. He's like, I'm just going to go kill that buck. Next day he goes there. Never saw him there. There was a day in November where Dad just wanted me to come up and hunt. I assumed there was a cold front coming through or something. I can't remember. It was a Monday. Same as what I did today. I had to get up early, go hunt the morning, and then come back here to stream. Well, go back to my apartment at the time. And the stand I wanted to hunt, I didn't like the way that it was facing. My brother and my dad had put it there, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I go in there on a Sunday, which in 2019 still you couldn't hunt any Sundays in PA. And I bumped him out of there like 50 yards from the stand. He was laying there with the doe. I was like, you have to be kidding me. And then obviously you guys know the story of 2020 where I was up in my stand. I had set up the camera first because it's a small stand and it's just, there's not a lot of room. And what I always would do was leave the bow on the ground, get the camera set up. That way it's safe, I'm not going to fall, I'm not going to drop the bow out of the stand. Then I bring it up, and obviously, you know, he showed up while I was pulling the bow up off the ground. And then, that last night. Like, I couldn't have... If I'd have chose the other stand, I might have had a shot. I still end up calling him in later. He still manages to get away. It was nuts. I lost my account to a crash on PS4, and I haven't told my dad because he was doing a Great One grind. He had 2 in the lodge, and I haven't told him yet. Have you, like, attempted to restore the save data or anything? How many buck tags in PA? 1, which makes it really tough. Like, that bladed 9 buck that I was just talking about. It's been the buck that I've, like, obsessed over for the last... This is the 3rd season in a row of basically only targeting him. In 2019, I ended up shooting a different buck because we kind of forgot about him. And then 2020, I had the encounter with him. Last year, ended up having the bigger one here at my property. And then here we are again this year. I haven't even passed a decent buck. I haven't seen any decent bucks except him. And yet I still haven't had a shot. What gun am I using for the bear? I used the 300. Need some help on what's the best way to earn skill points in Call of the Wild? It just comes down to leveling up. And the best way to do that probably is something like shooting, I would say red deer or fallow deer on Te Awaroa. There's just so many, you can level up so fast. Since they aren't adding blacktail to SRP, what do you think they are adding? So what was the deal with that? This was in line with the kudu thing, but not exactly the same. The kudu would have been a new species, and then, again, like, I don't know why that was announced, but apparently that wasn't supposed to be a thing. Blacktail, they decided it wouldn't be realistic or something, right? So what could fit on Silver Ridge? You could probably put whitetail there, but we don't really need them on another map. Grizzlies? I wouldn't hate that. Wolves? They thought blacktail's unrealistic? They wouldn't fit there. Blacktail are further west. They should add the blacktail to Yukon. Yeah, they could take basically the... I mean, Sitka blacktail are still pretty different, but it'd be better than nothing. If they put whitetail on SRP, I'll fight them all. I remember when SRP came out, that was complaint number 1. Now, SRP is free Rancho, right? So, Layton was still the only map with whitetail, and I think people were maybe kind of bored of, you know, if they wanted to hunt whitetail having to be on Layton. So many people were upset that there weren't whitetail on SRP. I never felt like they were a great fit, but, you know, you could have them there. And getting pictures every day between 11 and 1 during the day of a shooter that's just as big, if not a little bigger, than the buck I got already. 1 buck rule is killing me now. That's pretty wild. Is this at the same camera or just different cameras just showing up all over the place? What's up, Mel? Rarest animal you've shot on Yukon? That's a good question. Huh. I had a fair number of rare caribou, but they weren't really rare at the time. Albino grizzlies, like, they're rare but not that rare. I had an albino moose here. Most of my rare bison were SRP. I don't know. I really don't. Might just be a diamond red fox. This buck disappeared 2 weeks ago. Same property I shot my buck at. I mean, it's good news. There's multiple, you know, shooters there. Thought I was like an hour late. Daylight savings time be an issue. Nothing specific, Cooper. Just whatever shows up. What'd you say? Did you say excuse me?
I said, ooh, I forgot.
Ooh.
I was preoccupied.
Oogie. You could put white on SRP. You could also put roos on Tay. Are there kangaroos in New Zealand? I feel like I would know that. There are no kangaroos in New Zealand. Danny's using his toe brain again. I have a prehistoric hunt server up. Nice. Going on for the first time in Texas. My dad's friend said there's a 3-point buck. Wait. A 3-point buck for me, that's big because I'm 11. There you go. I, for some reason, in my head, was reading that as 3-antlered buck over and over. Alright. When's moose drink time now? Is it 12? That's kind of my one problem currently. I don't have a clue what's happening on this map, so we're just gonna run around and hope for the best. Did it have the same feel? I mean, whitetail in the like plains and stuff would make perfect sense. You got like Montana whitetail and stuff that are fairly common. I'm not saying I want it, I'm just, you know, some people did. I still think grizzlies might be the best option. Doll sheep need to be on Yukon? I would be a big fan of that. Are you gonna come over here, or are you just gonna stand there and die? Okay. Haven't played in years. I don't know the new maps at all. New maps being like new to you or new like coming soon? Because we do have a very much new to everybody map on the way. I was thinking of something as well here. The egg white wolf that we shot with the 243 handgun in that handgun video, that progress didn't... What the heck? Hi. Okay. Anyway, that progress didn't count, so that egg white might still be around. Hello, sir. I'd like you to let me shoot you. That might have been too far back. I don't know. He's dying. Dying pretty quick. Oh god, that was terrifying. Why do their eyes only do that when they're dead? Why did that look melanistic? I sure hope it wasn't. Well, now's time for the Glock to shine. Bad estimate for a 9? Most 9s are 37 to 39, honestly. Living in Colorado, I think they should put coyotes or bobcat on SRP. I always thought bobcats would be an option there. That's a species on the new map too, or am I misremembering? This is what I get for not being around for that stream. Where are you? Hello? Sounds like they're 12 miles away. Just killed a nice 6 on Wednesday? Nice, man. Congrats. This is a terrible spot. I don't remember ever having such issues seeing the wolves before. Nope. Ow. I think they're mad. And fleeing. Okay. Am I, like, losing my mind? Should we not see the glowing body of a dead wolf here? How'd I get over there? I don't know. Non-typical nation, thank you for the super chat. Hit a 170 class deer yesterday. Never found it. Have you guys been out to look again or anything? Hopefully it's just one of those cases, if you aren't sure yet, like, what's going on. Hopefully it's one of those cases where maybe, like, a higher shot leads to less blood. I've had that on a couple of bow shots where the shot looks okay, and then there's no blood, but it ends up being a lung hit. I'm crossing my fingers for you anyway. This is a good spot. I really love watching you play this game. Well, I appreciate it. How do you feel about the moose being... Wait, how do you feel about the moose, great one, and them being aggressive? The aggressive thing is something this game's been missing for a long time. The great one thing I think makes sense. The community's been wanting that really since... Was it for red deer they posted that poll? And moose had like a 40% response rate compared to everything else being way lower? I like how we're just finding all the things. So I think it should be good. What was that, a social post of some kind? They had a moose in it that appeared to have a rack we've never seen before. And assuming that that's the Great One rack, it looked pretty darn good. Killed a 288 diamond moose on Yukon the other day. Nice. I like the rack for the 280s. That's one of my favorite ones. Alright, did we do the oof? We done did the diamond with a liver shot. Yikes. 300 meters away. I'm not gonna lie. The moment that we kind of lined up for that shot, I was like, I haven't played this game in like a week. Should I do this? That was way too far back. We got way lucky. He's not bad though, 39.28. Kinda. For wolves, same as like pumas and mountain lions, anything above 39 flat's actually fairly decent. Alright, solid welcome back present from the game. We take those. Especially when we darn near mess him up. Thank you, Mel. 76 kg. Thick meal. Waiting for wings to thaw so I can cook hot wings. Nice. I don't even know what we're gonna have. I guess I'm going to the store today, so I might stop and get something somewhere. It's interesting that he had Greater Kudu in his notes for Hunger Update, Africa 2.0, who knows, but interesting. Yeah, you know, did I shoot another wolf over here? I kind of remember doing that. I did find it intriguing that it was in his notes for some reason, right? It's not like it just appeared there. There was something to it. What it was, I don't know. But you do have a good point. There may be something coming down the road. Found a diamond moose yesterday. Shot it twice, both too far back. Sadly, it was a gold. It happens. I darn near did it there just a moment ago on that wolf. We got very lucky that, you know, the 30-06 had enough punch to get through to end up being a liver shot. I'm the 69th like, holy. Hope the streamer luck gives you something good, and hopefully I will eventually get my albino gray wolf. 2,200 kills, still haven't gotten anything super rare. Hopefully you get him soon. Are level 5 moose guaranteed diamonds? No. What is guaranteed anymore? Even turkeys are no longer guaranteed. Wildebeest are still guaranteed as a 5. Level 5 female Gemsbuck are guarantees. There's not much else left. They changed a lot of scoring and stuff to where there's less predictability, which generally is good. What gun dropped the moose? That was the 300 as well. I thought it was appropriate to grab the 300 today, given the fact that it does come from the Yukon Valley DLC. I wasn't even watching the stream because I was away in Tennessee for a hunt. And I heard from like multiple people that he had said that it was going to be kudu, and I was like, what? All these other things are just old species to old maps. That doesn't make any sense. So immediately I was a little confused, and then within like, what, 20-30 minutes we found out that was apparently the wrong list. There are 420 people watching. What a perfect number. Appreciate you guys coming out today. Excited about the modern muzzleloader than anything? So I didn't get to see what that is either. Is that an inline? Oh, cool. Beagle's gonna be upset it's not a flintlock. How do you feel about the new map? I'm excited, but I kind of wish we could get new animals. Muskox is something I'd love to see. Just recently, when Beard basically said it's not going to be Africa 2.0, I tried to come up with a new prediction, because I've been predicting Africa for every map ever, basically. And I decided on Greenland because I thought muskox could be kind of neat. You could have caribou in there. But alas, it is New England. I don't hate the idea. Again, like, I haven't gotten to kind of re-immerse myself into the community and everything just yet from being away, so I haven't gotten a good grasp of what everybody thinks. But from what I have seen, that's a common sentiment. Basically, you know, wishing for a new species, but I think it's all the stuff that's coming with it. that really makes it worth the update. Because you don't have to buy the map for all the important features there, like the weapon thingy, whatever you want to call that, the, I guess call it backfilling of old species onto some of the old maps. Like, all that stuff's gonna happen whether you buy the DLC or not. And I just think at some point, if we wanted an update with this big of, like, an impact, and, you know, make no mistake, adding old species to old maps isn't just like a super quick thing. They have to come up with the ranges and the zone locations and all that kind of stuff. Like, every single one of them is going to take a little bit of work. So, I just think we needed it, and I'm going to assume they have something big coming following it next year at some point. I think it'll be worth it down the line. We'll see. What was the one? Okay, we saw that. What's up, Scarecrow? We had a Diamond Wolf as like our third kill today. And I shot it at 300 meters and almost oofed it because I haven't played the game in a while. Why does that look... Are you Mela? You are Mela. How dare you? It would have been epic if I dropped that. I think it's going to be a lung hit. But if it's not, it's probably going to come say hi. Maybe it's not a lung. There's a chance I aim too low. Well, come on. There you go. Now you got the idea. Good day. Yeah, I guess this is basically a fresh Yukon. I haven't touched it since the update, other than the first hunt I did with the handguns, so not too surprising to see some cool stuff, I guess. The Capercaillian Medved, does that make sense? I truly have no idea. What's up, Wes? Glock can get hard on Bison? If only I didn't want to make sure that we had the, proper ammo. That'll work. They need to add another lodge. That is something I'd really like to see. We're about to. Don't drown. I kind of thought that I saw something odd in that herd before we shot. Oh, come on. We were lined up perfectly. I've made that shot like dozens of times. Maybe it's just because the angle we had, we're shooting through way more neck flesh. But regardless, the second one got it. I guess we'll tax that. Not sure what we'll do with it, but we'll find something. Nice, thanks, Mel. I've been playing some Nautica, there you go. While rewatching the old live streams, randomly found a cuttlefish egg. Nice. I found one at one of my like random playthroughs that I did afterwards, and I could never figure out what to do with it. Yeah, customization, Crow, is, I think, super important. It would just allow you to do so much with the lodges, or even sort of follow in Classic's footsteps, do some of the Euro mounts, and just let those go on other size plaques. Just something to let us make our lodges a little more unique, because you kind of get, no matter what you do, pigeonholed a little bit into like what options you have. Arctic map with polar bear and doll sheep would be great, kind of like a White Rime Ridge classic thing. I wouldn't mind that. We need full black weapon color. I don't know what all's happening with this update, but maybe that'll be a thing. Tips on how to get the great one. Well, I don't exactly use a strategy. I just kill everything I see and hope for the best. Thoughts on Greater Kudu coming to the game? That's not happening. That was a... I don't know what to call it. Yeah, a mistake, I guess, is the best way to say it. According to what I heard, afterwards it was like 2 separate lists that Beard had. It's actually... What the heck is it? Widgeon?
Yeah.
Which I truly, like... Somebody mentioned earlier maybe that kudu mistake as a like a indication that something is coming down the road to that map, because that's not like, hey, I miswrote Widgeon as Greater Kudu. Like, there's a reason that was there. Maybe they just trashed the idea. What is happening over there? Kyla's getting attacked in like a recoil.
Like 5 conkeys, okay? Like I'm.
How common are level 2 male grizzlies? Not very common. You don't see a lot. I'm not 100% sure that I knew they were level 2s. I think I did. That's what sucks, Clark. Like, if it was, what would be maybe a different situation there? Trying to think of a comparable thing. If it was, I don't know. I think Coos Deer would also breed disappointment, but let's go with that. If he had said Coos Deer on Rancho by accident, I don't think that would have had the same level of disappointment, because the Greater Kudu is like literally the thing that everybody was disappointed about when Virunga initially came out. The fact that we got Lesser Kudu and not Greaters, and that kind of sucked that happened the way it did. But like I said, it may be indicative of something down the line. Is the sidearms pack worth it? If you find that in your loadouts, like, you often don't have enough room for all the weapons you want to carry, the 243 handgun just about perfectly replaces the 243 rifle. It's got effectively the same kind of range, same power. Obviously, it's ethical for the same species. It's a single shot instead of a bolt action, so there is that little bit of, you know, downside there. But yeah, like if you want to be able to give yourself a little more room in your backpack, it's worth it. Otherwise, cool weapons, fun to hunt with, nothing like, you know, game-changing, I guess. Look at all those chickens. SRP is good for money. It is. There's animals around every corner. That's one of those maps. I say SRP, Reventuli, and Rancho to a degree, especially I think when it gets Pronghorn. I'm excited for that, by the way. And where was Pheasant going? There's 2 maps, right? Aren't Pheasant going to 2 different maps? Where did I get the idea they're going to Quattro from?
Maybe? Yeah, I think they are. Quattro and...
Yeah. Again, I'm so out of the loop on things, so I'm relying on everybody else's information. Hirsch and Quattro. Layton would make sense too, actually. But Layton's getting both foxes? Red fox? No, both foxes are on New England. What's Layton getting?
Turkey.
I can't keep up. You are right.
A cluster of information in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it's literally... It's so many changes. I'm excited for it, though. Turkey for Layton? Is it Miriam's? I guess that's the only one that would make sense. I always felt like Fox on Layton would be cool, but I think them coming to the New England map is going to be good. And that's something, you know, we get Red Fox and Gray Fox here. I always thought it was a little bit weird that we never had them on the same map, so that's going to be cool. Plus, you know, New England's going to be the closest thing I've got to PA, so we'll have to come up with some neat video, real-life crossover type of things. Ooh, I have ideas. I can't tell you.
You better mute your mic and tell me.
Mute my mic?
Mute.
You want silence on this stream? I was gonna hit my desk and say order in the court, but then Shadow would have went nuts. Is Te Aotearoa getting reset? I'm not certain if anything's getting reset.
They said they weren't. Stuff isn't getting reset. It's just getting placed in the map. But I don't know. They said that about SRP when they made Black Bear Great Ones, and I swear it seemed reset to me. I don't know.
I don't remember. I hope they're not resetting everything. I haven't even fully explored like any of my single player maps. That's my fault, I guess, for being bad at grinding Black Bear and not being able to get the great one. So I was spending so much time with that, but here we are. Only certain pops are being reset, like Mouflon and Moose. Mouflon. Wait, why are Mouflon being reset? What's orange and sounds like a parrot? I know the obvious. Oh. I was thinking it wasn't a carrot. I was trying to come up with a bird that was orange. I assumed it was like a macaw or something. Time changes for moofs? Wonder why they'd have to reset to do that. They're getting new models. Mouflon, great one. That's been a trend. The black bear got new models. They got a great one. I know the brown bears got new models and didn't. But, Moose had the new models. That's on its way. I think there's maybe some chance of that. Elk, great one. I would like to see that. I think there's so much you could do with elk from just, like, you look at things like the spider bull, and you could just, like, you could use that as a starting point and then just go crazy. I mean, you could make 500-inch bull elk and it'd be completely believable. What, the spider bull was 443 or something? 60 inches of antler for an elk is like 2 tines, maybe 3 tines per side. Like, it wouldn't be hard to imagine that. How excited are you for the moose great one? I'm excited to see what it looks like and stuff. I'm not sure I'm excited to grind moose. I think that might be less fun than it seems, but we'll see. I think they're going to be easy on all maps, but it's similar, in my opinion, to when we've done grizzly bear grinds, in that they're often in places that require you to run pretty far to claim them. And then the other side is, you are just not going to be dropping a lot of them, and you have to make sure you make good shots. So it'll be a little slower than things like a whitetail grind for sure. Do you hunt in real life? Yes, I was out hunting this morning and looking at a bunch of small males all morning. I had a 7.5-year-old, probably like 140-inch mainframe 8 last night. A buck that I've been after for almost half a decade. I had him at 28 yards, but I snort wheezed at him after he went by at 45, and he walked straight to me and behind some stuff. That buck has had my number, it really has. It's amazing, like, as long as I've hunted him and as many times as I've seen him, I think actual hunting encounters, because I've had a couple where it either was before the season or like a Sunday when I couldn't hunt on Sundays in PA, I've had 5 or 6 encounters. I've never actually been at full draw or anything, and he's been in bow range twice. A great one lion, but it's melanistic. So, not that unrealistic things are completely off the table, but melanistic lions are for some reason not possible in real life, I believe. What's up, Fade? Do you have a Discord? I do. What do you want to be the next great one? Moose would have been my answer because so many people have wanted it. Mule deer, I think, is probably my next one. Elk, I guess if I had to pick, Rocky Mountain elk would be on that list too, but I mean, mule deer could just be incredible. Where is bison? Sometimes I miss having my tracking dog. The only reason that we stopped bringing him on our hunts was because when we did the black bear bow hunt to kind of see if that was feasible, he kept on spooking stuff and being a problem. Problem is, we can't get a great one bear anyway, so, you know, might as well bring our dog back. Great one turkey, have like a 4-foot beard just dragging behind him. 8-inch spurs. A thunderous gobble that makes your character shake. I like how no matter which one I aim at, the other one goes broadside. Stop this. They should stop. Great one grizzly? I always thought that would be neat, but that definitely goes in the category for me of that would be a huge pain to grind for. And I know not everybody's about grinding for great ones. Like, the idea of finding it without a grind really appeals to some, and it does to me as well, but I've not had that happen. So the genetic possibility for a melodic line is a thing, just no melodic lines have ever been seen by a human. Huh. Intriguing. Canada Goose on Yukon. Is that being added, or is that a suggestion? I feel like that is being added.
Can be added. Same as pronghorn on Hamish.
That one I did know. I like that. I don't see the appeal of hunting geese on this map, frankly, but I know that it seems to try to add something to every map, so, you know, limited options. What else could they have done? I know the blacktail idea, but that really wouldn't be... It would have to be Sitka blacktail, and they're pretty different. You could do black bears here. I wouldn't hate that. What?
You say black bear or blacktail?
Black bear. I think this would be a cool map to hunt black bear on. Grind them only in the snow so you can actually see them. Blacktail deer are not being added to SRP anymore. You are correct. They need to rework on the grizzlies? They do, especially since black bear and brown bear have gotten a rework and have turned out really well in my opinion. Not this update before the future. Yes, I like it. Wolverine in Alaska, there you go. Would be insanely cool if grizzlies got a remodel. I've always felt that what they really did was model them after Kodiak brown bears. Like, I feel like they should be called that, but they just aren't. To me, that's what they look like when I see them. Hello there. Probably ought to chase those guys down, because there's half a chance one of them is level 9 again. I feel like the white-tailed jackrabbit would work well on SRP. It could use a small game species, for sure. I wouldn't hate that. You could do... I mean, I guess turkey is sort of small game, and not really. You could do any number of duck species there, too. We need such clarification, I would say. Does pronghorns exist in Mexico? Yes. There's actually a bunch of... I only know this because of Red Dead, but pronghorn have a bunch of, like, subspecies. They're all essentially the exact same. But you've got, like, there's, like, a Saharan pronghorn. There's a... not Saharan. Savannah pronghorn. What do they call that? There's a desert pronghorn. And then there's, like, a not desert pronghorn. And I think there's one other one, too. Bison also exists in Mexico? Hunting, bison in the desert would be quite cool. Plains, desert, yeah, something like that. You know, Sahara, Africa. The African pronghorn. Everybody's favorite species. I don't see any big ones. Fox? Do you have a male with you? Odd. I only say odd because, again, this map was reset and we haven't shot anything. Because I do know that there are, like, solo foxes, but I've generally assumed in the past, a lot of times when you see a solo fox is because you shot the other one in the pair. How many whitetail did you shoot to get the great one? My grind was about 1600, 1650. I wasn't keeping super close track when I did that grind. That was early days of grinds. Are raccoons on the new map? Yes, I think. I really should have studied up before I did this stream. Problem was, it was so cold the last couple days that I've been hunting that I couldn't hardly use my phone. Are there wolves down here? I feel like there should be. That's it, Sonoran. Thank you. You know, Sonoran, Saharan, same thing. What's up, Joe? Is there elk on Rancho there or not? Any big males? We shot a diamond wolf. It was 39.28. Darn near messed it up. And a melanistic female plains bison. That's where you're from? Sometimes it's useful. having the local information. More roe deer. I don't hate that idea. Michael, thank you for the super chat. If you could have any map added to the game, where would it be? I really want to see another map added from, you know, a separate region of Africa. I've been saying this for so many years now, maybe it never will happen, but there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you could literally add like 10 more Africa maps with 10 species each, and you'd never have to duplicate. There's just so many game species down there. But the other side is, if you go, I could do it right now, but I don't want to back out of the... Actually, no, what the heck, I'll do it. I want to show you how popular Virunga is. And remember, Virunga is more than 4 years old at this point. Let's take a look here. Hirschfelden's got a pretty good number of servers, base game maps, so, you know, not a DLC that has to be purchased. Layton's got about, I'm going to say, nearly twice as many as Hirschfelden there. Medved has like 6. Virunga's got just about as many as Hirschfelden, and it has to be purchased by all these people. Like, you have to purchase the DLC. Compare that to every other DLC map. Parquet's got like 4, newer than Virunga. Yukon's got a little bit less than Virunga, year newer. Quattro's got 3. SRP, about the same as Virunga, again, way newer. Tay's got less, Rancho's got less, Mississippi's got less, Reventuli's brand new and it's got less. Like, Virunga's the most popular DLC map, and the fact that we haven't had a follow-up on that is beyond me. Ha, Parquet sucks. I like Parquet. Everybody hates Parquet. What?
Dog
Hello, dog.
delivery. Look, you're putting her paw out for you.
Is it bad that I didn't know she got down?
Yeah.
Why does my stream always look blurry? Because I'm so fast. She's like, I don't want to sit up here. Why do people hate Parquet?
Sucks.
I don't know.
It's rushy.
You know why I think? I think it's because when it came out, there were diamonds everywhere. I mean, diamond axe deer and diamond blackbuck were basically worthless because they were so common. And it stayed that way for a really long time. But then the rest of the species were just kind of meh. I mean, mule deer were cool when it was the only map with mule deer. But, you know, SRP wasn't too far behind it, so that kind of removed that little detail. Red deer had since been added to so many maps that it kind of, you know, was no longer the red deer map. I think that's just kind of what it came down to. All these other maps just were better for all the individual things the Parquet was good for. Elephants added into the game, you know, it may happen with Ultimate Hunting planning to do that, just to try to compete. Call of the Wild could look at something like that, but I don't know. I feel like that's not their style to do it. Imagine a predator being added to SRP. I guess a non-black bear predator. You could do wolves. Go ahead, Shadow, get comfy. You are the best YouTuber. Why, thank you. At release of Parquet, though, mule deer were a little bit lame as well. I think a lot of people were disappointed in what they looked like, myself included. I was always of the opinion that mule deer weren't originally among the species they intended to add. Because if you compared, like, every other legacy rack, they were generally pretty good. Mule deer just, like, it didn't look natural. Some of the places where the tines joined, just, it almost looked like you stuck two clay models together, like there was an obvious sort of seam there. And from memory, that was probably the biggest complaint about the mule deer. Because I was super excited, like red deer and mule deer on the same map, I was sure I'd never leave, but I think red deer got so common and mule deer prior to Truax were just meh. Like a small game predator, like a coyote, bobcat. You could do lynx there probably. Mule deer looked awful, the map looked awful, but you get a pretty 44 caliber pistol. I didn't think the map looked that bad, but then again, I was at a point when that map came out that I was all in on trying to get every single diamond in the game. So as soon as it dropped, I had, you know, a bunch of work to do again with getting all them. So I maybe didn't focus as much on that. I still don't think it looks too bad though. They should add coyotes to SRP. We still only have the 2 maps. Is new map place getting coyotes? Do you know?
Thought, but I don't know. Maybe. I'm pretty sure. Maybe.
Pretty sure, maybe, possibly. Who knows? Yes. I feel like it would be a good addition. I saw the thickest coyote I've ever seen in my life while hunting like 3 weeks ago, maybe. I almost got a shot at that with my bow, but he did this thing where he was like going to come by at 30, and then he changed direction like 3 different times, and then went by at like 75. New map has yotes. Nice. New map seems to have a lot of species. Ooh, I like that. Not something you really would have seen in the past, caribou down in this area. Might have been a touch far forward, but I think we're good. I'd like beavers so I can get my payback for what they did on my Great Wall and Black Bear grind. They almost destroyed my tree stand at Mule Deer Lake. That's another thing that I'm quite frankly shocked they haven't capitalized on. Do you know how many people would like willingly buy, say, the ARs, the modern rifle pack, just to murder as many beavers as possible for what they've done? Got a Mela caribou, nice. Biggest deer in real life, the buck that I shot last year. It's the one on my channel art thing. It was 180-inch gross PA buck, which it was the second biggest not typical ever in this county. Which the biggest, while bigger by quite the margin. The net score for mine was 171. The net score for the biggest not typical in this county was like 189 or something. But it was in 1942, so been a while since one that big was shot around here. Let me dual wield Glocks and I'll get those pesky beavers. There you go. The moose was like almost dead when we last saw it. I should have got the tracking dog. There's something there. I think that's the moose. Okay, we're good. Beavers would fit really well in Leighton and New England. Yeah, they would. Maybe one day we'll get them. It's hard to say, like, you know, where Call of the Wild's gonna go, say, in the next, like, 2-3 years. Classic was, I believe, 7 years old when Call of the Wild came out. Call of the Wild will be 6 this February. You know, you could look at it on one hand and be like, well, Classic's still going strong. Call of the Wild very well could do the same thing, and I think that would be good. But they also may have something else. I know the Angler's one thing, but they may be, you know, looking to sort of keep the train rolling with something completely new, like they did with Call of the Wild at the 7-ish year mark with Classic. I'm not saying there's any particular reason to go to 7 years. You know, it might be 8-9 years, but I'll be intrigued to see what they do, because the game has reached an interesting point where I think a lot of the main, like, regions people wanted to hunt have generally been added. We have, like, what, 80-ish species just about? I imagine it's tough to come up with, you know, full map ideas and such, but we'll see. Gonna be a while before we see, but we'll see. I think I messed that up. Well, I guess he's not going to slow down, so... Haven't liked the Roosevelt elk rack since they went true rack. I don't mind the diamond racks now, but the, a lot of the gold racks are pretty bad. What was the most nervous moment you've had on Call of the Wild? The Great One Whitetail was definitely up there. It wasn't a tough shot, though. The Great One Red Deer was a tougher shot, so I was pretty nervous about that. Maybe the 1,000 Coyote, though. Like, there was just something about having tracked that, like, an hour through the dark, where, you know, tracks were disappearing, and I had, like... I know Beard and Sean Johns could see it. Jay was with us, but I don't think he was actually there, like, where he could see the coyote. But there were a couple people, like, right there watching. Which, you know, I don't even know that I streamed a bit at the time. But I don't think I streamed myself, like, I didn't have the interwebs to do it. That might have been the most, like, nerve-wracking. How many kills for the Great One Red Deer? That was, like, 5,600. That was not a fun time. So stoked for Blacktails on Silver Ridge. That, unfortunately, has been canceled. It's not realistic. Blacktail are a good bit farther west than what Silver Ridge Peaks is, you know, simulating. So I don't think they've announced it yet, but they're trying to come up with something different to add to SRP. I feel like they've really got, like, a ton of options, though. There is a negative 12% chance that this works. If there was hunting pressure there, though. What I missed just got here, we had a Diamond Wolf 39.28 that I almost messed up, shot it in the liver, and a melanistic female Plains Bison. I have a feeling it's going to be some sort of bird. I wouldn't be upset about that. I was saying earlier, like, you could do a bunch of the waterfowl species if you really wanted. Somebody said rabbits. I think that's a good idea. Do you want squirrels in the game? It's not something that I'd be like, oh boy, can't wait to go squirrel hunting, but, you know, it could fall into the same category that things like the ptarmigan and grouse do on Reventuli. You know, I'm running between legs hunting moose. Look, there's a squirrel up in that tree. I'll shoot it. You know what I, like, just one of those little bonus fun kills. So if they can make them interact with trees and stuff properly and feel realistic, then yes. If they're just gonna, you know, if they're gonna have drink zones and stuff, no thanks. Thoughts on New England? To me, like, the map idea is decent, but I think it's more about the update itself and all the features and stuff that's coming with it. I'm very excited for those. I think much of it has been overdue. There's a lot of kind of quality of life and just kind of like general game improvement type of things. Experience, maybe I should say game experience improvement with some of the species being added to old maps and such. I think it's a necessary thing. Add grouse to SRP? You could do ruffed grouse. I don't think any of the existing grouse species would make sense, though, and that's, at least for the other maps, what they've done is add, like, existing species to the maps. Touch. Oh. Yeah, I assume, Clark, it's because of the lack of hitboxes, like, up high in the trees, which I've, you know, shown a million times. Hitbox. No hitbox. All the way up. No Greater Recruit anymore, no. What's being added instead? See, that one wasn't even, like, canceled. That was just, like, a mistake. I think it's Eurasian Widgeon, which I've also heard isn't that realistic, so they maybe will change their minds, but that's the last I've seen. Yukon could have had elk or something. You could have feasibly done Roosevelt elk if this was a Fognac Island, but that's not really what this is. Because you could have done Sitka Blacktail as well. That would kind of make sense. I still agreed something other than geese. I would have preferred black bear over geese. What else would fit? I'm thinking of like latent species. Not much. There aren't a ton of choices, really, from like what we already have. Eurasian Widgeons are in Northern Africa? I saw a thing that was like 2016 was the last time they were spotted there or something. Mountain goat? Yeah, that could work. Turkey on Yukon? There's turkeys in like 48 states. Is Alaska one of them? Last sighting I found recorded was in 2016. I wouldn't even, like... When that was, like, announced or whatever, I would have just been like, okay, guess that's a thing. Like, there's no way I would have thought to look it up. Great one bighorn sheep? Maybe if they do that, they'll fix the diamond models. They just... They don't look good. I don't like them. I understand the argument that if they were in the right environment, their horns would grow like that, but they just don't. Like, the amount of fighting and stuff they do, they just break the ends off before they would ever curl back around. And the thing that bugs me is, like, you look at even Classic, which is an EW game to begin with, or Wade the Hunter, the bighorn look fantastic. And then we have Call of the Wild bighorn. Renaming Trophy Lodge? Yeah, why is that not a thing? I could have, like, my Hole of Small. There is turkey in 49 states, with Alaska not having them. Why did I think Hawaii didn't have them? What do they have? The colorful ones. Names not coming to me right now. The kind that everybody wanted Rancho to have. That's gonna bother me. One of you guys will know. The bighorn diamond rack is great one size. You could maybe go with that, right? That would make a little sense at least. Even Hunting Sims 2 bighorn look pretty good. Might have been the only model, but I do agree with you. The bighorn in that game were pretty decent. Golds? Not peacocks, no. Oscillated, there you go. Hatches got it. What are them one? The peacock turkeys? Yeah, them. Whitetail ptarmigan for Yukon? Yeah, probably. Except we don't have whitetail ptarmigan in the game. But I think that could fit. Bald eagles in Yukon? I feel like that would be a... You'd get some pushback. Opinions on the new Great One. I just think it was inevitable, right? The amount of community members that suggested it. Or requested it, maybe I could even say. And then the other thing is, too, like, we saw that social media posting that had a moose rack that we've never seen. I can't tell if that's a Great One rack or if they're going to completely redo True Rack and it's a diamond rack, because it was interesting it appeared to be a common moose. But regardless of what it is, I thought it looked really, really good. No, Chrissy, I gotta tax him. I gotta tax my taxidermist. I gotta text him and check it and see what's going on. I don't mean for this to sound bad about any taxidermist, because taxidermy is awesome, and I'm not patient enough to do it. What?
For once, a Spinosaurus killed the Giga. It never happens.
Oh, nice. 98% of the people in here are like, what did she just say?
Don't worry about it.
It's just dino things.
Just a
Just a baby?
Just a baby.
Anyway, what was I saying? I honestly have no idea.
Sorry.
There's the moose thing. We moved on from that, though. It was something else. I forget. Snow geese? I'm kind of surprised we don't have snow geese. Again, that's another thing that Classic does have. Must be wolves over there. Or that moose is the scariest moose of all time. There's no way we caused that. It's odd that he's not alert, though. I mean, we can just shoot him, and if the wolves are around, they'll come get us. Wood ducks in Mississippi? Did we not get along there? No, we did. Just taking forever. That was another thing. It was Bottom Boy's theory, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Basically, his theory was that the waterfowl rework that came with Reb and Thule was originally slated to be with Mississippi, and just wasn't ready in time. So they kind of changed course and added things like the hogs that were like already on Tay and just renamed them. Whitetail, obviously already in the game. The gators were new, but like there wasn't a ton of new stuff with Mississippi. But it still would work for there to be waterfowl, and yet here we are waterfowlless on that map. If you look close, there's fish under the water. I think that's only on Layton, right? Every, like, I don't know, 6 months, somebody sees that for the first time. Well, it doesn't happen anymore because they actually have a fishing game now, but it used to be the case that that was considered to be a clue that they were adding fishing to the game for forever. Listening to this while painting a nilgai. Nice. They should definitely add hippos and rhinos. I think rhinos would be a tough sell, just, you know, because of the approach they took with the story on Virunga. Hippos, though, could be a lot of fun. Most underrated part of the update is aggressive moose. I wonder, like, is it going to be aggressive how the bears are aggressive and they really only charge if you're within like 10 meters of them? Or if it's going to be Cape Buffalo, Water Buffalo aggressive and they're just going to charge you from 100 meters away if they decide to. Have you ever heard of Lawrence County? I've heard of it anyway. Oh, I know what I was talking about now. It was the taxidermist. I need to ask him, like, oh, that's what it was. So with most taxidermists, everybody bothers them like, hey, when's my buck gonna be done? When's my buck gonna be done? And I haven't done that, which typically means mine gets pushed further down the list so we can get rid of the people that are bugging them. What's your favorite animal not in Call of the Wild? It's actually gray wolves on this map. I just find it fun when they charge, trying to, you know, navigate that chaos. Quite enjoyable. Could be like plains bison aggressive, only one shot. That's true. That's probably the best way. That would make sense, because bear aggression is like, what, 1 out of every several hundred times you're hunting, you might randomly be in a spot that you end up with an aggressive bear. But nobody asks, when is my doe done? Sag. I was going to text him during the stream, but I'll wait so I make sure I can not sound like get it done right now. I know he hunts too, so he probably hasn't done a thing taxidermy wise other than, you know, an hour or two in the evenings for the last couple weeks. And I'm not trying to make it sound like that's a bad thing. I do very little when it comes to content creation during hunting season. Try to get my one video out and away I go. Bears should be more aggressive? I mean, maybe. Bear attacks aren't really a major thing. Then again, it's a game, right? So you kind of want... Yeah, no, I'll go with you. Wolf attacks aren't really a thing either. I think bears should be more aggressive. I have changed my mind. When's the new map coming? I think you can look at the past trends and assume somewhere between like very end of November and early December. Not capercaillie or wolf aggressive. Moose don't attack that much. I know because I've seen it happen much in Canada. Yeah, I think it should be like a... maybe something like the current bear aggression, or I do like the bison aggression idea. Like if you shoot them, they might go aggressive, but it shouldn't be 100%, because the bison, as far as I know, are basically 100%. If you shoot them, they're going to go aggressive. I remember... oh, I know what it was. Over here is really good for meese. Let us see. Maybe not black bears. Yeah, black bears are kind of weenies. Oh, that was the story I didn't tell. I made a thing that I was going to make a YouTube short out of it. You guys will get to know earlier, I guess. So Thursday, when I was hunting in Tennessee, I mentioned earlier that I didn't see a single deer. We were in the right area. There was plenty of bucks down and stuff. It was just, you know, timing or choosing the wrong tree, whatever the situation was. Aaron got to see a couple bucks. He actually got a shot at one. Didn't end up getting it, but we did see a lot of black bears. Thursday, I was hunting by myself, and I chose, after having seen a ton of black bears, to hunt relatively close to the truck. Not because I thought a bear was going to attack me on my walk to my tree or anything, but because if I did shoot a deer, I then have to gut it and all that, with bears potentially, you know, catching the smell, and that could be a problem. I'd also run into a sow and some cubs, and, you know, they were the ones that decided to go check out the kill. Then it's trouble. And it turns out a muzzleloader with one shot's not a great defense weapon. So, anyway, I only hunted maybe like 300, 350 yards from the truck that morning, and I got back, loaded everything up in the truck. I was probably like 2 miles down this basically dirt road, and I saw what I thought was just bear scat in the middle of the road. And I had already seen this a couple of times, but it was just like this every time. I don't see bears around here ever. So like every time I'd see any bear sign, it's like, oh wow, look how many bears are around here. So I looked in my rearview mirror to be like, is that what that was? And I couldn't see it. The bed of my truck was still in the way. New truck, by the way. Should have noted that. Then I looked in my side view mirror, and I was like, why is my mirror facing the wrong way? And then I kind of looked a little closer, and I was like, why is there a chunk of the plastic busted off from my mirror? And it was like just I guess a natural reaction, like, are you kidding me? Somebody hit my mirror and didn't leave a note or anything? Like, come on. I literally just got this truck. But then I realized that doesn't make any sense. I parked on the right side of the road. Nobody could have hit my mirror. Did I back into something? I'm kind of getting used to a backup camera, but surely I'd have noticed that. And then I saw the claw marks by my window. A bear at some point walked up to my truck, whether it had been like fed by some goobers in the past or whether it had smelled food in a truck before. There was no food in my truck. There was nothing in there it should have wanted. But there were like little nose prints up against like the dust on the truck, and then claw marks in the like plastic around the window. Little sort of claw grooves in the door itself. Like it didn't scratch the paint off, but it scratched it a bit. And then obviously it had broken the chunk of plastic off the mirror. So what I think happened was it stood up and it was like looking in the window of the truck, and then saw itself in the mirror. And if you've ever seen that video, I think it's a brown bear or a grizzly bear. Somebody just put a mirror out in the woods and a bear walks past it, and when it sees itself in the mirror, it freaks out and attacks. I'm assuming it was exactly that, and it just swatted at the mirror and just ran away. But, you know, having realized, hey, there's a chunk of the plastic on my mirror missing, I went back to where I had parked, because I was going to at least try to find that to fix it. I don't know how hard that bear hit it, but I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere. So yeah, I went home empty-handed and with less truck than I went there with. Bears freaked at the reflection. I mean, I'm sure, like, because you know how it is with mirrors as well, like when you're close enough to see what's in a mirror, you're very close. So I'm sure their reaction is like, whoa, there's a bear that's way too close that snuck up on me. It's obviously going to attack. But anyway, yeah, I have a, the only reason I haven't uploaded it is because I don't know if I have to do anything special to make sure it uploads as a short. But I have a video of like the damage and such. Minimal damage. I don't really, like, I'm not upset. I think it's kind of cool that there's bear claw marks in my truck that I got. Not as a hunting truck only, like it's gonna be what I take anywhere, but you know, I drive a truck mostly because I use it to hunt out of, whether it's the space in it to haul things for hunting or to haul deer. Like, you know, cool little thing that most people don't have in their hunting truck. Shows you right for driving a new truck to bear country. I didn't even know it was bear country. Like, it's not that I didn't know there were bears there, but I didn't know it was Black Bear Haven. I mean, you should have seen the sign, dude. So Aaron got there before me. He got there like noon on Sunday. I got there at like 4 p.m., so I didn't even hunt Sunday afternoon, because there was no point in me walking in and screwing up anybody's hunt. Which, by the way, we were like the only people hunting deer there, which was sort of done on purpose, but, you know, regardless. Basically, Aaron chose where we were going to go Monday morning, because he had actually hunted there, and I hadn't. And he was walking down the little... There's a piebald moose. He was walking down the little path thing. And he's like, here's a bunch of turkey scratch. We got to come back in the spring and hunt turkeys. Oh, cool, yeah. And then a couple days later, I saw the sow and cubs scratching around in the leaves. That wasn't turkey scratch. That was bear scratch. And it was everywhere. I'm blaming Aaron now? Yeah, it's his fault. The piebald moose looks so good. I was doing trash for my job and opened the dumpster door and a big male was in the dumpster? A bear or what sort of big male? Can you stop? They train the moose well around here. What time to black buck drink? I don't know anymore. Bear? Did you run? Like, what was your reaction? Because I don't know what I would have done in that situation. I can tell you that one time at like 5 a.m. at my apartment, because we just had a dumpster for like everybody in the apartment, I was taking the trash out there, and I don't even know what it was, like a raccoon or a possum or like something squirmed around in there, like just as I opened the door. And my like immediate reaction was just throw the trash bag in and let the door slam down and get out of the way of whatever might come out of there. I ran and yelped, I'll admit. No judgment for me. I probably would have done the same thing. Probably would have done it if it was, like I said, a raccoon or something too. Been wanting to see one of these guys on their feet, so I was kind of wishing it would have antlers, but not too bad. I like them. Do you think there will be a piebald skin of some sort for the Great One Moose? I feel like there should be. Have I missed anything? How long have you been streaming? An hour and 20 minutes. We have shot I almost called it a werewolf, a diamond wolf, and a mounted plains bison on top of that piebald cow moose. The plains bison was also a female. Confeated apples by hand. The moose or the bear? Look at this wide boy. 220. I actually like this. It's not a bad looking moose. Rifle season here in Kentucky. Haven't shot anything yet, but did see a nice little 6-point buck. There you go. I was not too far from you when I was in Tennessee. We hunted less than a mile from the Kentucky border one day. Why? I don't know. There weren't any deer there, so... Oh, the blacktail buck that lived on our property. I named him Frank. Got a picture of him on my dresser. Nice. Should I get the new sidearms pack? If you find that you don't have enough room in your loadouts for like all the weapons you want to carry, it really helps with that. Otherwise, there's nothing in there that, you know, is game changing. Nice, crickets. I have received a friend request. Werewolves would be cool in Call of the Wild? It continues to amaze me. As popular as Classics Halloween events are, the Call of the Wild really doesn't do anything. Now maybe, because they're both EW games, and because the Halloween event is by far Classics' peak every year, as far as I'm aware, maybe they're like, hey, I know you guys want to design cool things for Call of the Wild Halloween event, but do us a solid and just do nothing, because this is our time. bottomland hunting greater than mountain hunting, it's been proven. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I have, on a ton of occasions, gone back and watched the... It's actually the little, like, 7-second clip I sent you, like, me videoing the camera viewfinder after I shot that buck. Because I'm just, like, trying to stay halfway positive how quick it can happen. That entire encounter was like a minute and a half. And it was only that long because there was 30 seconds of being a full draw. Like, an entire season can change that fast, but if not for, you know, a buck deciding to cruise on by me down there that day, I'd be in real, like, this season has not gone all that well. The picture of Frank is actually him standing right next to our archery hay bales. He has no idea what he's into. Only takes one moment to change the season, and that's it. Like, that's as much as, like, when you think back on a season or on, like, past successful hunts, you remember at least, like, the way that stories are always told. It's like there were deer running everywhere that day. You know, I saw 12 shooter bucks. Like, stuff like that seems to be the way that it's kind of remembered, but a lot of times that's all it is, like 90 seconds. And you just gotta keep on, you know, staying persistent and hoping that kind of works out. Having a good time over there, I see. Killing a million prehistoric hunt diamonds. Got a gold albino moose, nice. The one time I had a big bull moose standing in front of my bow target 20 yards from me, would have been tempting to let one fly. I remember one time, this is what I, for some reason, like, this is a moment that I think back to from archery season, you know, 12 years ago that I just wish would happen again for some reason. It was like 3 p.m. on a Saturday, and I was practicing with my bow, just, you know, getting a couple shots in, then I was going to go hunting. Actually, I think it was like 2 p.m. And I just looked in the fields behind me, and like maybe 250 yards, 300 yards away, a fairly decent buck. Not huge. I don't know that I would shoot it now, but definitely 14, 15-year-old me, like, that was a shooter. Just cruising looking for a doe. Dropped down into the woods, like kind of close to where my blind was. And I immediately just dropped everything. I was ready to go, like, try to almost chase after him and see if I could bleed him in or something. But then I realized my quiver was full of practice points because I was doing all that. So I took my time and got ready and went back and never saw him. But I don't know, there's just something about like 2 p.m. and just seeing a buck crossing the fields and stuff. Because it's one thing to see him cruising in the woods at 2 p.m., but out in the fields was a neat thing. Just started watching. You get anything good? We've had 3 trophies today. A melanistic female plains bison, a piebald cow moose, and a diamond gray wolf. What's up, Cody? Are whitetail going to get better and more variety antlers in the rework? The models are different. I know that from the screenshot thing. I don't know if the antlers are changing or not. To me, a fairly decent buck would be smaller than a decent buck. I think that is also how I would describe it. Decent is like, I'd probably shoot it on the second day of rifle. Fairly decent is like, well, if it's the last day, I guess I'll take a shot. Probably something like that. If I use the word decent, good God. If I use the word decent, I'd probably shoot it in some settings. I just got kicked in the face by a moose. Are you going to be playing the Angler anytime soon? Maybe Kyle and I will stream it again. We actually streamed it not that long ago. It was like a random Tuesday or something. We streamed for like an hour, mostly just testing out the mixer and making sure everything worked. But it was relatively enjoyable. I think the problem right now is it's actually too easy to catch fish, which I know sounds stupid, but it just... Part of the fun was sort of having a little bit of a strategic approach, but now it's just cast out and reel them in every cast. Am I ready for moose to go aggressive? Yes, I'm curious to see what sort of aggression they go with. Is it going to be Cape Buffalo type of aggression where you're just hunting along and from 150 meters away a moose comes, you know, barreling towards you? Is it going to be bear type of aggression where you basically have to be 10 meters away or they don't go aggressive? Or someone suggested, and I like this one the most, plains bison aggression. If you shoot them, you know, sometimes they'll charge you. I kind of think that's the way to go about it. Plains bison can charge without being shot too, but I'd rarely see that. When he coming to Tennessee, we actually, well, me was just down there. Kyla stayed home to watch Shadow. I didn't end up seeing any deer, but we kind of chose to try to hunt mountain deer in particular. Like, the idea of a Tennessee mountain buck was really appealing. And we got ourselves into the right area. I found, there was a huge rub that I found. Like, I'm sure there were big bucks there, but just, you know, didn't encounter them. Aaron had a shot, unfortunately, didn't work out, but at least he saw some bucks. Is trapping something that should be added in Call of the Wild or a separate game? Probably a separate game. Like, the amount of, it's the same reason that I always thought fishing should be a separate game. The amount of, like, new mechanics, new animations, new everything. At that point, it's probably best the game is just designed from the ground up for those mechanics and stuff to be able to work best. How to get the 300? That's a weird looking one. It's in the Yukon Valley DLC. I think it still costs like 75,000 in-game cash though. It's a rare DLC-ish weapon that still needs to be bought with in-game money. Legit just go to 10 Point a Day Go in Middle Tennessee. There you go. Better than we did. We were in far northern Tennessee, like legit the one day less than a mile from Kentucky. .270 does not work well on moose. Yeah, I mean, you can lung shot them and they'll run a long way. You can heart shot them and they'll go down pretty quick, but there are definitely better options. How do you feel about the New England map? I'm not sure about the map itself. Like, we'll have to try it out and see. I think it's going to be fun, but, you know, largely old species. But it's the features in this update, like the stuff with the guns, the old species being added to a bunch of old maps. I think it's that stuff that really makes it worthwhile. And the cool thing is, you don't have to buy the map to get access to those features. So, you know, if you're not interested in a lot of those species, you can still get the main part of the update. Cheap option for moose? I guess the 338? Or are you talking in-game cheap? What do you think about introducing squirrels in, say, Mississippi and be able to use a dog? I've never heard of using a dog to tree squirrels because, in my experience, either you tree them or they go up a tree and have like a nest or somewhere they can hide. Like, I'm not sure that the dog makes a difference. Maybe it does. You're going to find a diamond moose soon. I thought that said you're going to find a diamond moose, son, and I was like, if I'm being called son, this is serious. Got trolled by a level 9 Cape Buffalo. That's frustrating. I assume this is a spoiler of some kind, Zach. I haven't a clue. I've heard, seen, read that name before, though. Anyway, go kill a big male mule deer. Many people tree squirrels? People do, or people do with dogs? Because treeing squirrels makes a lot of sense. But using a dog, I've never heard of that being done. That is indeed a spoiler. Ban him. Just kidding, he doesn't. Well, now Zach has really bamboozled us all. Thanks for the super chat, though. Tuning in for the tree stand. Dude, I hope it's warmer where you are than where I was this morning. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with like hot hands hand warmers. Typically what I do is I've got like one of them, what the heck are they called? It's like the thing that football players have. Like, it's a little hand warmer thing that, like, hangs from, like, your belt, your waist. And then I'll put one of the super warmers in there, and it does a great job. I didn't do that today because I didn't feel like having all that extra bulk, like, to shoot a bow. So I just had, like, the little stick-on body warmers. And I put them in my pockets because I just needed them for my hands. I don't know why, but they just refused to get warm, and I was a chilly-fingered lad all morning. Is CWD common where you are? It's made its way out here. I haven't run into it yet. Dad said he saw one last year that was like running in circles, which is a CWD thing. But that was kind of the end of it. Never saw anything from it. Never found that deer dead. So I don't know. The word you're looking for is a muv. Is that? See, I thought it was called that, but if it wasn't called that, that would have been awkward. Hey, Ryder, thanks for renewing your membership. I certainly appreciate it. I don't understand stream elements. Apparently the alerts work today, so there it is. 41 months. I was not aware that it was that many months. Holy. Thank you, man. Hands are one thing, my feet get cold, I'm done. Yeah, I tried experimenting with something because I have 2400 gram Thinsulate boots, and they do a pretty decent job for an all-day sit, like with foot warmers. But about 20 degrees, much lower than that, that's about as much as I can do to sit all day, and some days it's just colder than that. So, you know those like boot cover things? I got some of those to try. And the problem is, it turns out, if you get ones for like a particular size shoe, they're approximately the size of that shoe. So I should have gotten bigger ones. They don't fit over my boots, and therefore it didn't work that well. They kind of like almost fit my rubber boots that aren't insulated. And to me, having the boot cover on the rubber boot was almost exactly the same, and I did it for an all-day sit, as wearing like my big insulated boots. And I don't have to pack the boot warmers in if I wear them, so I don't know. I gotta keep looking into stuff. A wee lad? This little piggy cried wee wee wee? What guns would be good to change classes on? I love the Warden 270, but it's not a moose gun. 270, I mean, it's a caliber that in real life would be used on things that in the game are considered class 8. Like elk, for example, might be an animal someone would use a 270 on. But I think it could be a 3 to 7. I think the 6.5, given its, you know, power in the game, should also be going the wrong way. Should also be 3 to 7. Let's think. The muzzleloader, the cap lock muzzleloader, should be 4 to 9, same as the 7mm in my opinion. What else? What else? I don't know if I have any other like major ones where I feel like it needs changed. I feel a huge mail coming. It ain't me. I want those boot things to put over my waders. I almost lost my toes on Saturday's sit. Yeah, them aren't made to sit still, really, are they? How was the... I don't know what your setup was, but did you have something on over the waders, or were the waders like your outer layer, basically? Because that's definitely something... I think tomorrow morning, if all goes to plan, I'm going to try sit in my spot that requires me to cross the creek, and I think the water is going to be low enough that I should be able to get there just with my regular rubber boots. But if, you know, insulated waders do a decent job of keeping you warm too, just sitting still, then I'm probably going to look into that. Does Call of the Wild ever get boring for you? It used to. You know, when I lived in my apartment, I just had nothing better to do. I couldn't go outside unless I wanted to just, you know, go play in the street. So I just played Call of the Wild all the time. And that would get boring. But now between, you know, I've got the dog to take care of. I can go outside and, you know, shoot my bow or do whatever just to pass some time. And the different games, you know, between Way the Hunter and Classic and Call of the Wild, I never get burnt out on Call of the Wild at this point, which I'd find to be quite nice. What's up, Will? Lever action in this game are a joke? That is an understatement. How about Way the Hunter? I'm finally getting into the game. I love how they determine the proper weapon for an animal by using energy. Yeah, things like ballistics in that game are really well done. The scoring system still just bothers me. Like, they went all out on the realism, and then it's like a standardized scoring. So that I hope they alter, and we'll see. You know, they're doing so much work to improve the game, they may well do that. What's up, Owen? Zach, thank you for the super chat again. I haven't been the same since the Halloween grind. The fog is coming, the fog is coming. Nothing is real, everything is fake. Please help the werewolves and hogs haunt my dreams. Yeah, you probably shut your eyes and hear that. Ooh. I'm probably giving you panic attacks just by making that sound. Have you talked to anybody about that? Like, why were there not rewards for top 3? Because you guys put probably hundreds of hours in. And do I understand correctly, you got nothing special for doing more than, like, say, 20th place? The leg part, 600 gram thin slate, but the boot part is just regular rubber boot, no insulation? My rubber boots aren't insulated either, and those boot covers did a decent job. That might really be the play. For hunting, like, where you gotta cross a creek or something. I'll have to look into them. I would have tried to email them about it, but I wouldn't have expected a response. TK used to be my go-to for like, hey, can you ask if this is a thing? But since he doesn't work there anymore, it's a little hard to figure out. I can ask in somewhere that might get attention and see. Some meese around. I didn't buy the waders that are just the booties that go in other shoes. Right, yeah, I gotcha. I thought about using those too, but the ones that I got, because I used a pair of those this spring for fishing, and I had a leak in them the first trip. And that's one thing when it's like, say, 55 degrees out in the spring and you're just out fishing. Like, if you get a foot soaked or something, you're not sitting all day. TK doesn't work for EW anymore? That was not even that recent. Got a level 2 Roosevelt elk, nice. What map would be the best for a moose grind? I actually don't know, probably Medved. I think Yukon could be decent, and who knows what New England's gonna be, but Reventuli's very good. It'll be interesting to see. Considering I'm gonna probably be trying to do a moose and bear grind at once, I'll likely do New England, but we gotta see what it's like. Mythical, thank you for the super chat. You've helped me with the game so much. Thank you, my pleasure. I'm glad the videos and stuff have been helpful. When did he stop? Yeah, like 2 months ago. It's been a while. He made a public post about it and stuff. I believe maybe a day or two after he had a stream where he talked about it too. Look at all them chickens. That's another wide lad. What part of Tennessee did you hunt in? Like the northern part. We're up like kind of by Jamestown. Literally, like, we could have been in Kentucky if we drove for 3 more minutes. Was there a certain reason he quit? I think he just said it was kind of like time for him to move on. He's been, if I had to guess, he's really trying to just take the next step with his hunting and guiding and all that kind of stuff that he's doing. Reverend Julie, they can be at every drop of water on the map? Yeah, that might be a problem, huh? Wasn't he an arborist too at one time? Yeah. There's not a lot of people that can do something like as manual labor as being an arborist. And then go to, not game development, but like working in game development, working for a game company. And then, like, as hands-on as guiding is, like, he is, like, whatever he decides to do, he's going to find a way to do it. Didn't TK start an archery company? Yeah, I don't want to call it an archery company. Are you talking about the arrows, or are you talking about, like, the, like, sort of guiding thing? Because he was making arrows. I know, in order to avoid a conflict of interest with Hunter's Friend Europe, which has been, like, probably our most loyal sponsor with Meat Hunters, he, like, sold that company or something sorta to Hunter's Friend Europe. I don't know exactly how that worked. But, if you're talking about the arrows thing in particular, I think he still makes them. But, like, it's through, it's an affiliate brand. I don't know. I'm not smart enough for business. I literally just record my hunts and TK handles stuff like that. He's very flexible. Giggity. A flexible Kiwi. What's going on, Pick? It's business. Yes. Something to do with archery? Yeah, I think he's got like his own it's some sort of guiding service or something like that. Ooh, hello. This could be interesting. Did you ever get bored playing Call of the Wild? Not really. Like, in the past, I did, but I've got enough going on now that between Way the Hunter and the Hunter Classic and just the things that happen in daily life, whether it's taking care of Shadow or, you know, just doing stuff around the house, like, I just don't... I used to put easily 10 hours a day in Call of the Wild. I was consistently, like, 60, 70 hours a week, and the only reason it wasn't more is usually on Sundays I would go to my parents and hang out. That's not the right fox. So, now, maybe it's like 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week on a particularly busy week. It's just not nearly as much time, so I don't get burnt out. Were you on a Meat Eaters episode with Renella? No, so, it's a common, like, misconception, I guess, to call it that. Basically, we have our own, I guess we'll call it a show. We've been on Wild TV, which is kind of like the Outdoor Channel in Canada, but it's called Meat Hunters, and I know, like, it's very similar. I really, like, so what actually happened was, to tell the origin story, TK was going to do, like, his own thing. He was going to film his own hunts back in 2019. They had, like, the logo done and everything, like, he was ready to go. He was going to call it Meat Hunter, which, while at first glance it's like, okay, he's just ripping off Meat Eater. If you think about it, if you're trying to name a show after, like, the pursuit of meat for the dinner table, there's not actually a lot of options, so I kind of understood why that happened. But anyway, he reached out to me, like, August or September, and was like, do you want to do this, like, film your own hunts and stuff, and we can, you know, both have a channel? I was like, yeah, sure. So that's kind of why that happened. So I had nothing to do with the naming of it. I probably wouldn't have named it Meat Hunters just because, you know, it's so similar to Meat Eater. I've called our show Meat Eater, like, multiple times because I love that show. Like, I watch it all the time. But yeah, like, there's just kind of not a lot of naming options there. Flesh Consumer, I think that might not be, at first glance, obviously a hunting show. Steak Chasers? Maybe Burger Chasers. We're really not big on deer steaks. We make a lot of burger, though. Is it just me, or are optics very low power for the magnification range of Way the Hunter? Absolutely. We need, like, a spotting scope or something in that game. I know not a ton of people do, like, a handheld spotting scope, but, you know, for the sake of making the game a little more user-friendly. If you want to boost bow skill, then MA is great. Whitetail are frequent and easy to call. Maryland? Field to Table, that could have been a decent channel name. I kind of think if I were to see that, I would expect that to be a cooking channel, though. Flesh Consumers sounds like a zombie show. Backstrap Chasers, there you go. Backstrap, now that. We've started making like a stuffed bacon wrap backstrap thing, and we gotta kill some more deer so we have more of that. Massachusetts? Oh. Listen, hunting Maryland was on my mind. I drove through Maryland to get to Tennessee. I have never seen so many roadkill deer in my life. I must have counted like 30. And then there was a place in Kentucky. I don't have a clue where it was because I was just, you know, flying down the road. But I saw this big-bodied deer laying there dead, and his head was cut off. And I was like, well, obviously that was a big buck. And then, like 100 yards down the road at most, there was another one, and its head was cut off. So I marked it on my Onyx. If it's public land one day, maybe I'll consider hunting around there. Right on the road. Do we just come back during the rest time? What time was... No, it should be recent. Might just be that he ran in a weird direction. What's up, KJ? Just now, there we go. Favorite animal in the game? Like, as far as models and stuff go, I like the pronghorn, I like the mountain goat. The moose have definitely been improved. Is probably still pronghorn. I was so excited for them when they came out, and they really didn't disappoint. Meat stalkers, yeah, that's a good one. You gotta get like that. I don't know. Every time I take like a week off streaming, my voice just dies, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but the intro of the show would be like a really deep voice, just, welcome to Meat Stalkers. Pronghorn cool? I do agree. What if I talk like that? Can we get a Yoshi? Dude, my voice will not. You guys did this to me last time. Last time I missed a couple streams, you guys asked for a Yoshi, and I just know that it won't be good. Oh. Hey, look. I said, hey, look.
Holy, when you're not looking for it, it's gonna be there. That was like me. I had an initial small one too.
This was the estimate of the one that trolled me on the stream the day before we ended up getting one, though. Tenderloin connoisseur. I do like that. Zach, thank you for the super chat. I could die happy if they added alligators to Rougarou Bayou and saltwater crocs to Pickaninny Bay on Classic. Also, I can provide deep voiceover. You probably could do that. Do you think they'd ever add things like that to Classic? They may. I just realized we gotta kill this with a Glock, so that's good. I genuinely, when I made the thumbnail and decided to bring the Glock today, I thought, we're not gonna have to kill any fox, so that'll be fine. Yeah, right. I think there's a non-zero chance he just heads straight back to his zone, so he may come right by us. That'll be the hope. Danny, thank you for the super chat. Warthog 2.0 Fox Edition, please no. You're not it. Okay, nervous. I didn't consider this was going to be far more difficult than just simply finding the fox. Okay, just angle that way, we'll be alright. The Vikings game? Yeah, let's see if we can kill this fox and then I'll talk about it because that game was nuts. Seriously, I tuned in and the first play I saw was the 4th and 18. You don't see me. Sometimes when animals are nervous and then you alert them, you'll actually change their path, so hopefully he just kind of decides to come back here again. It looks like we're okay. I may just sit still. I think that's going to be the move. Rather than trying to get into this brush and likely alerting him again, I say we try to just let him get to wherever he's going to go, and if he'll come to somewhere in here. We'll try it. And that looks like exactly what they're going to do. That's him. He's the one in the back. Oh, the female's cutting, like, towards us. Okay, he's close enough I can spot him with the pistol. Can you stop? That's a little high, but I think it's vital blood. Yikes. I think we're okay. We're good. All is well. You know, this is almost exactly where we tracked the other one to. It would have been like down through here, though.
Dun, dun, dun.
Better be a diamond. Ooh, our biggest diamond fox.
Yay!
14.9 lung liver. Talk about squeezing a shot in there. Good lord. I've been really walking the line today of screwing up some pretty rare diamonds. I guess wolf diamonds aren't that rare. It's a kind of large one, though. Nice. Thank you, guys. This is Call of the Wild doing Call of the Wild things. Like, we spent forever trying to get a diamond fox in single player. Couldn't do it. Got one in multiplayer. And we've since killed 2 in single player without trying. Big male. So that's going to have to go... What did you find? Is that an albino brachiosaurus or something? You're gonna get the dog to go crazy. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, it's gonna have to go with our piebald diamond gray fox, and we only have 10 minutes, so I guess we'll move along quick. Big day. Interesting thing to open the stream to. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. Diamond fox with the Glock. Pretty cool. Big male shoes. Okay, before it gets too far away, the Vikings-Bills game thing. It was a 17-point comeback, right? And then like, they had the touchdown on 3rd down, and then they didn't. That was, Jefferson was rolled short. And then the QB sneak, he doesn't make it. It's like, well, dang it, Kirk. Thought you were going to do something cool. And then the fumble, and then it's, what, 49 seconds, and the Bills are like, yeah, we can almost score a touchdown with that. Vikings get it first, they can't score a touchdown, and then, what was it? It was like in the end zone where Patrick Peterson had the interception. It was insane. I was hunting, by the way. I actually didn't get to see the overtime drive because that's when I saw the Bladed 9, but I watched the highlights afterwards. You're a Bills fan? I feel like, honestly, regardless of which team was going to win that, there was going to be like a silver lining. And from the Bills' perspective, is probably that even after getting kind of dominated in the second half, Josh Allen still in the final seconds led a field goal drive. Like, he still has it, regardless of, you know, the difficulties they've had in the second half of the last couple of games and stuff. I'm not worried about them. They were my Super Bowl pick, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think will be added to SRP since Blacktail won't be? I still like my grizzly bear idea. But probably ducks or something. I kind of think it'll be less fun. Does that make sense, by the way? I saw that too, peccary being added to parquet. I mean, I guess anything can, because it's essentially like a game preserve, but I don't know. Good black bear spot away the hunter? Also, filling the freezer for a channel name. That could have kind of worked. I don't have any great black bear spots, but the southeast lakes seem to be... Or sorry, southwest lakes aren't bad. Parkery, yikes. The loss does hurt them. It does... What are they, the 6th seed or something now? I saw a thing that if the playoffs started today, all 4 AFC East teams would be in. Which, that's going to happen at some point regardless with 3 playoff teams, but... Or the 3 wildcard teams. But I think it's absurd. Like, that shows 2 things. The AFC East is really good, and the rest of the AFC, outside of some division leaders, is garbage. Like, the Chiefs are good. Chargers are like, I don't know what they are. Broncos bad. Raiders really bad. Who's leading the South? The Titans, I think, are good-ish. Colts, maybe are on a bounce back. Jags, seemingly bad. Texans, bad. In the North, I think the Ravens might be good, but I also kind of think they run into the wrong team. They're going to get smoked, as they usually do. Can't figure out the Bengals. Browns bad. Steelers bad. Broncos are meh at worst. We are not bad. Didn't you guys pay $250 million for Russell Wilson? Did you know that Geno Smith is currently leading the Seahawks to a winning record, and Russell Wilson is making dangerous sub commercials? Justin Fields? Okay, so literally, when I was in West Virginia, Bottom Boy and I were talking about this because I think that was the Bears Commanders Thursday night game that week. And we were like talking about the quarterback class. And I remember vividly like saying like Justin Fields is just bad. He's just not good at football. And he apparently heard me because he's been lighting it up recently. And they still lost. It wasn't really his fault. Kicker missed that extra pointer. It's a tie game at least. But, you know, I still don't... I'm not sold on that style of quarterback play because I think it could get you a ring, but I don't think it's ever going to get, like, multiple rings because it's just so tough to get to the Super Bowl to begin with, and I'm assuming, like, a Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson maybe has a 7 or 8 year, like, call it elite amount of like QB talent, and then it's gonna fall off. Like it just will, whether it's injuries or age or whatever. It's only like a step, and then they're no longer so dangerous. But that said, Justin Fields is suddenly really fun to watch. Steelers Saints game, I did watch that from the tree stand, and you know, neither team is good. It was good to see the Steelers actually run the ball. Matt Canada actually called a good game. Kenny Pickett still needs to throw the deep ball better, but he's getting somewhere. Are you recording? Good. Pats are doing okay? Yeah, they don't look half bad all of a sudden. I couldn't decide if they were good or bad. That's the other thing, like, the Steelers are definitely not a good team this year, but the teams, all the teams they've lost to, like, the Patriots lost. I think that was their first loss of the year. That didn't look good. Well, now the Patriots are in the playoffs if they started today. Jets lost. The Jets are, what, are they 6-3 or something? The Browns loss is pretty bad. Even though the Browns are way better than 3-6. They're just, the Browns do Browns things and lose for some reason. Bills lost, they got crushed. The Bills are obviously really good. Eagles are still undefeated. Like, the teams they've lost to are actually good, outside of the Browns, but still, like, if you're a decent team, you just find a way to win some of those games, because they were in a bunch of them. Fields carried my team this week. I picked up Dak in, like, both leagues, because I had Kyler Murray in one. I don't even know if he played. And then Mariota in the other one. And I saw that, like, there was a hurricane happening there, so I just decided against that. And I think they basically had the same amount of points. Chiefs lost to the Colts, so it can happen to anyone? That do be true. How do you feel about the player who got an eye injury? An eye injury. I remember Deshaun Watson getting kicked in the eye. You mean that? That was a while ago. So I assume not. Sometimes a crap team just beats a great one. Yeah, it does. It does happen. That's, I mean, any given Sunday, that's why, you know, as a Steeler fan, when they were 2-6 before yesterday, that's why I still tune in and watch the games. Doing some meat hunting, dropped the small rack big body buck yesterday. Nice. I just realized how framey running into this lodge is on stream. That's a yikes. Okay, so we have a Piebald Diamond Gray Fox and a 14.3 Diamond Red Fox from, most importantly, April 25th. I was gonna say, were you not here then when I shot that? You must have been in Georgia, because it was this year. I didn't realize that. I remember that I shot it on stream, but I need to find the date of the multi-mount. Is Piebald rare for cinnamon teal? It is not. I mean, it's, I guess, technically considered a rare, but they're very common. Should be Foxy Foes. Dismantle. I'm always afraid doing that for some reason it's going to, like, make my Piebald Diamond Gray Fox not exist. But he's still there. 6.41. Isn't Diamond 6.43 now? I think it is. And 14.9. Slowly but surely improving some of these mounts. How did I have that? It was like this. Yeah. The Gray Fox are so underrated. Like, the models are fantastic. Super, super detailed. Whitetail remodel coming? Yes. I guess we'll also go to the second lodge, which is this one. Will you get early access to the new map? Hopefully. I haven't heard anything, but assuming that they do early access, then I would like to think so. You never know. Maybe they'll be like, hey, don't give it to that Flinter guy. He's dumb. Big, dumb, and stupid. What wasn't there? Where's my bison? I guess it doesn't fit on this size. Where's that wildebeest? Because that's supposed to be here. Bison can go maybe where that ibex is? No, they can't go there either. Let's do, I guess, someplace this guy. I forgot there was a piebald moose as well. We killed a lot of things today. Good lord. Where am I going to put that? It's all be... What did you say? You did say we, right? Okay. Isn't that a song? Out here slaying diamonds. I guess a random piebald Rocky Mountain elk can be taken down. It was probably shot when it... Oh, actually, I could have left that there, but it's fine. Piebald meese, and because I'm lazy, I'm gonna put the wolf here. You know, I thought it was 39.28 when we harvested it, but it said 39.29 in the thing. Can the male European bison be piebald? Yes. I did, Clark. That did not look good. Did you tax the bison? I did. We shall stand by it in jubilation as we wrap up the stream. That was fun. I didn't expect Yukon to be holding that many trophies. That makes me wonder, like, some of our other single-player maps, we should probably hit them a little bit harder in case they are going to reset anything. Because that was 4 trophies today. Right? Diamond Wolf, Diamond Fox, yeah, and 2 rares. Not too bad. Anyway, I think on that note, that's going to do it for this stream. I have no idea what we're doing for tomorrow's video yet. Typically, I have that recorded before the Monday stream, but I went hunting this morning, so that's not happened. But probably gonna be the Hunter Classic. We shall see. Regardless, whatever it is, I'll be seeing you guys in that video. So thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, thanks for all the support, and I'll see you there. Bye!